I'm part of the education team here at Utah's Hogle Zoo. Now, here at the zoo, we've been doing a lot of spring cleaning recently, and it got me thinking about one of my favorite animals here at the zoo. Not one of the ones that's big or loud, but a really small animal that has a big impact. Everyone come in really close and meet my friends, the black turban sea snails. Now, I love watching the snails on the glass because you really get a peek under that shell and the view of a snail that you don't often get. Here in the bigger circle, you can see that's their foot, how they grip onto the glass or the rocks, and how they move around to the places they want to go. The smaller circle is their mouth, and as you watch, you can see their mouth open and close as they scrape the glass with their tongues. Now, on their tongues, they have thousands of teeny tiny teeth that are perfectly equipped for gathering every last little bit of algae they can. And this is a really important job. It might not seem like lunch, just a snail's lunch, but think about it on the bigger picture. As the snails clean up the algae, they're cleaning not only the tanks here at the zoo, but the entire ocean, the world's largest habitat, and so many other animals depend on that. Now that's why it's really important for us to protect the snails. Even though they're really small and kind of gross and maybe not very interesting, they are a vital part of the ocean ecosystem. Now, because the snails have such an important job, it's easy to see how protecting the snails protects the entire ocean, and how we should do everything we can to step in and protect the unsung janitorial staff of the world's largest habitat. So, one of the things we can do to help protect snails is help them to protect themselves. Now, we all know that snails rely on that nice thick shell of theirs for protection. They can hide in it to be safe from predators, and they carry it around with them everywhere they go, so they always have that option to be safe. Now, they actually built that shell in a really interesting way. They need calcium to build it, sort of like how we need calcium to build our bones. But instead of getting calcium from drinking a glass of milk or having a nice side of broccoli with their lunch like we do, they actually pull a molecule called carbonate straight out of the water and use it to build their shells. Now this is a really cool way of doing things, and a lot of ocean animals depend on that carbonate for strong shells and skeletons. But we've actually been seeing a bit of a change recently in the chemistry of the ocean that makes that carbonate harder to come by. And to understand where this is coming from, we're actually going to have to take a lot of steps back and look at the atmosphere instead of the ocean. In the atmosphere, there's a molecule called carbon dioxide, and it's a normal part of life processes. You might remember it from your biology class as being one of the things we breathe out when we exhale, and being really important for plants to grow. They take it in to help them grow, and they release oxygen that we breathe in. It's a really nice balanced system. We call this regular carbon dioxide. It's the CO2 that belongs in the atmosphere and that we need to live. However, recently we've been seeing rampant levels of carbon dioxide because we keep adding more and more into the atmosphere when we do things like burning coal, oil, and natural gas for fuel. All of this extra CO2 builds up in the atmosphere and is having huge impacts on all sorts of ecosystems. In short, it's getting out of control, which is why we call it rampant carbon dioxide instead of the regular carbon dioxide that should be there. One of the ecosystems that's being impacted by this is the ocean. Because remember, the ocean's still trying to do that important job of taking in all the extra CO2 out of the atmosphere. And because of that, we're seeing a buildup of the amount of CO2 not only in the atmosphere, but also in the ocean. As the ocean absorbs some of that rampant carbon dioxide that humans are putting into the atmosphere, it changes the chemistry of the ocean, making it slightly more acidic, which is why we sometimes call this changing chemistry ocean acidification. Now, this acidification makes carbonate harder to find in the ocean, and that makes it harder for animals like snails to build up the shells that they depend on. First, we know that the root cause of this changing chemistry is too much CO2 in the atmosphere. We add extra CO2 when we burn fossil fuels for energy. This can be burning gas to run cars or trucks, or burning coal to create electricity. Things that take lots of energy, such as transporting goods and people where they need to go, manufacturing materials, or constructing, heating, lighting, and cooling buildings, tend to require us to burn lots of fossil fuels. Third, we know that if we can reduce the amount of energy we need for those things, or if we can shift our energy from fossil fuels to alternatives that don't put off CO2, like wind, solar, or hydro energy, then we'll be reducing the human impact on the ocean and protecting the life that depends on it, including us. Lastly, we know that the best solutions are going to be large scale. Think about how lots of people, communities, schools, and cities can work together to reduce impacts. Go for the bigger scale to get better results. For example, instead of riding your bike to school to cut down on the gas burn when you drive a car, think about how you could start a bike club at your school to get lots of people working together. Or how Salt Lake City could build better bike lanes and add bike racks around the city to make it easier and safer for all of our citizens to make the smart choice for the environment. Make sure you share your results with someone. And if you want, shoot us an email and let me know what you came up with. I'm really excited to hear from all of you guys, and I hope you come up with amazing solutions. We'll see you next time on Hogle Home Safari.